have a lot of company in the house tonight, and we have literally some hot topics, very bad pun intended, to talk about tonight this evening. So for those of you watching the replay, thank you again for all the support you guys have shown me the past few months. Comment replay in the comment section. Let me know that you're watching the replay. I do like to go back and see who's watching. And also if you have any questions, I do go back and answer all the questions after the show closes down. So if you're watching the replay, comment, let me know who you are. In the meantime, those of you who are watching me live, you are not off the hook. You need to let me know who you are, where you're from, and what is in your glass. I have something a little more interesting because I have actually an in-studio guest. I'll try to pull her on at some point tonight. She's gonna be so mad. She's like, not happening. So we're celebrating with some homemade sangria tonight. Tom McIntyre. So I'm going to brag a little bit about Tom. Tom, you just sent me the most beautiful gift of this amazing maple syrup from Canada. I just got this beautiful jar. I haven't opened it yet because it's so pretty, but my kids are frothing at the mouth. We're going to be having pancakes breakfast for dinner tomorrow. So Tom, thank you again for very, very thoughtful gift. So guys, I see you popping on board. We're going to give you a couple of minutes to join in. We got Mark S. Oh, what? No. Seriously, Mark. So Mark apparently does not watch the Cosi Talk show when there's a basketball game on, but he makes a point of coming on the show to tell me that he's not going to watch the show because there's basketball.
That's awesome.
I'm going to get you later, Mark. That's all I got to say. And then the other Mark, Kosobiec, he's here because he's cool and he's staying on board. That's right. Thank you for coming, Mark K. We got
Oh, what's up, Rudy?
Oh, Rudy. I know Rudy. I always call him Theo Rue because I that's how I know him, from his handle. So his name's Rudy. There we go. Rudy from Albuquerque. Oh, thanks Rudy, again, Tom. On, we got Jill coming in from Berkeley. I don't care if it's the finals, Mark asks. I don't care. My show's cooler. We got Scott here from West Virginia. There's Barbara.
Hot take. Okay, Mark, who are you going for in the finals?
See, now we're going to turn this into...
Now it's going to turn into a basketball show.
There we go.
I know.
All right, we got Barbara coming on board. We got Emily. I am so glad, girl. I hope you get those prosthetic devices soon. We got Rich from Arkansas with his dark roast. Denise from North Carolina. There's my Tar Heel right there. We got Steven from Jacksonville. We got Compadre Van Gregory. Man, we're getting a pretty full house already. Mark, yeah, you keep laughing, Mark. You keep laughing. We got Charlie coming in from New York. We got Sandy from Gainesville. We got a lot of Floridians on board. Yeah. Oh, there's a Sooner softball. Yeah, we're not bringing sport. No. All right, I got the peanut gallery over here telling me about other professional games that are going on right now. Let's see. All right, we got Ron.
All right, Mark, Mark's my guy. Okay,
Mark's your guy.
Mark, we're on the same team tonight. So, Mark, I would love for you to stay. It would mean a lot to us. But just you can have the nuggets going on in the background.
Traitors, the both of you. All right, we're going to go ahead and officially get started. Those of you joining me for the first time, I apologize for what you're going to see tonight. My name is Cosi Belloso. I'm a physical therapist, amputee specialist here in Tampa, Florida. With me tonight, I have the team from the Liner Wand. We've got Liz Stone, the brainchild behind the Liner Wand, and we've got Kyle. He is no stranger to this show. He was here about a month or two ago with Click Medical, so we've got a lot of information for you guys this evening. I do want to thank the Liner Wand. The team has been such a wonderful support of the Cosi Talk show behind the scenes for several years now, and this is a show that has been too long in the making. So we're going to have a great evening tonight. We got Johnny V in the house from Poughkeepsie, New York, coming on board. All right, guys. So last week, right, we did a huge show on sweat, and boy, did I hit a nerve. Like, my social media has been like exploding all over the place with everybody's thoughts and tricks and hacks and everything, which I love. That's how I learn. That's how I know a lot of my viewers learn, by all the input that you guys give on social media. So keep it coming. So we're going to continue the conversation tonight. And we're going to talk more specifically on the liner and how stinky it can get, right? But before I do, let me go ahead and let these folks introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves. Liz, you're going to go first. Ladies first.
Oh boy. Okay. So I'm Liz Stone, or Elizabeth, and I am the CEO and co-founder of the Liner Wand. So we've been working on, the technology behind it for the last 10 years.
Awesome. And guys, Liz is a powerhouse. She has been working so hard to get this resource out into the limb loss community. It's amazing. And it really is an amazing tool to use. And we're going to hear more about that tonight. So Kyle, tell our folks, to give them a reminder as to who you are.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? Again, my name is Kyle Stepp, and I want to highlight Liz for a second. One of my favorite things about the liner wand is really around how community is built. That's really how I learned about the liner wand. I was a month into being an amputee, and as most of us like start going to Google and asking a billion questions about tricks about amputees, and happened to have liner wand slide into my DMs on Instagram saying, "Hey, we know you're new. If you need anything, we're here to help you." And immediately the love and compassion from Liz and the team at Liner Wand was a huge part of I would say my survival and thriving. But I'm a above knee amputee, and as well as I am a para athlete. And I support Liner Wand with our community relations and some of our strategic partnerships.
So if there's anybody who knows a lot about sweat while wearing a prosthesis, it's definitely going to be Kyle being an athlete.
Literally jumped on this and I was like, Cosi, I'm sorry. I just came back from a bike ride. I'm probably really sweaty, so I apologize in advance.
It's an authentic view. We're going to get a really authentic view of how this product can really work, right?
Yo, I've been saving the sweat in the liner right here. So I'm just saying, like, it's just sitting in there.
That's awful.
You hear what your teammates are saying in the background, right? All right, I'm going to jump in at this point. Okay. No, I say it all the time. Whenever I go, I mean, guys, we live in Florida. Humidity is just our way of life here. And I've said it several times. I have some of my amputee runners that while we're in the middle of our run, they have to stop, take off their liner, pour the sweat out onto the cement, dry everything off, put it on, and go off again. So, it's a fact of life. As gross and yucky as it is, it's a fact of life, and we got to figure out how to deal with it, right? So for those of you who were not in the show last week, first of all, shame on you. It was a great show. And you can watch the replay, and you should, by going to my YouTube channel. Shameless plug. But last week, I talked about sweat. Like, what is it? Why do we have it? Why is it that as an amputee, you might sweat more? So I'm just going to give you a little recap because I do want you to go back and watch last week's show because there's a lot of good information there. So the basic reason why we sweat is to cool our body temperature down and to get rid of toxins in our body. That's one of the main excretory processes of our body to get rid of toxins, right? That's a big fancy word for this Wednesday night. And we needed to cool our body temperature down. So as much as we would love to not sweat at all, right? It's not possible. We need it as it's part of our life-saving device, right? So why is it that as an amputee, many of you will say, I feel like I'm sweating more. And most of my patients are just like, I know this is going to sound weird. I'm like, it's not weird. It's not you. It's an actual thing. Number one, you have less surface area to sweat from. Okay. So whatever part of your body was removed with amputation, that is that much less skin that your body has to cool down from. So your body has to ramp up the sweat by either making you sweat more, sometimes just from your residual limb, or some people will tell me their entire body as if they're getting hot flashes, right? And in last week's show, we talked about how some quadriplegics, paraplegic patients, because of the damage they have to their spinal cord, will also experience this, and it can be life-threatening for them, right? Go back to the show to watch those details, right? So if you combine less surface area to sweat from, and now you're putting on a liner, which is like the equivalent of tying a garbage bag onto your leg and wearing it all day, you're going to have a lot of sweat, and with it, a lot of odor, right? Okay, we got a lot of comments coming in, so let me just see. Ooh, lots of comments.
Some on the skin fit, which is, yes, they have similar problems.
Yes. And the thing is with the skin fit, the closer the skin fit, but it's really hard to get a close fit with that skin fit. It has to be really, really, really snug. And actually, Greg Menino, I don't know if you guys remember that name. Greg Menino, yeah, you know Greg, right? 22-time Paralympian and Olympian. He's an AK, an amazing prosthetist himself. He wears a skin fit. He has to use a lot of liquid to powder lotion to make sure his skin doesn't get chafed up with the skin fit. And he does have issues with sweat. Sure, it happens a lot. Let's see. Hey there, Jim. Good to have you here. So you're one of the lucky ones, Jim, that is not plagued by sweat. And again, I know it's partially because I live in Florida, but so many of you from around the United States, even one of my folks in South Dakota says that, at some point of the year, there's going to be a problem with sweat. Hey, Felicia, glad that you're here, babe. All right. And it says Emily says sweat since amputation is gross as someone who didn't sweat much before amputation. And guys, it's not to say it's all doom and gloom. From what I hear, I don't have any official research on this one. Most of my patients say that their body kind of evens out over time and acclimates over time with the sweat. Some people it doesn't. Kyle, did you experience this after your amputation?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that was, I first off, before amputation, I did sweat some. Like I would feel it, but after amputation, I've sweat more than I ever have, and I think that was one of the frustrating things, especially when your residual limb is maturing and you're trying to fit into a socket. You like go halfway through the day and you've been sweating so much and you can no longer keep suction, especially if you have suction as your suspension. Yeah, 100%.
There you go. There you go. And have you noticed, well, we're going to get a little bit more into how you've been able to combat that. And guys, I am copying and pasting a link that I want you to go to. Okay, guys. So you know that when I have guests on the show, we got to do giveaways because I love me some giveaways. So we're going to be giving away a 3-month supply of the liner wand. And I know I haven't told you what the liner wand is, but I promise you after we talk about it, you're going to want this giveaway. Okay. So just do the giveaway. Just do the giveaway. Take my word for it. All right. I just posted the Facebook page for the liner wand. Guys, you know that the show exists because of the generosity and the partnerships I have with other companies in the O&P community. So we need to show them love and appreciation. So I want you to right click, do not click out of the show, go to the Facebook page for the liner wand, follow them, and then like the post that they did of us today. You'll see it's a big old nice looking picture of Kyle and a little tiny one of me. So go ahead and put that one instead of that way. The one of Kyle is way better. And believe me, I want it that way. Okay. So go and follow the liner one on Facebook and then go ahead and like the picture. They're going to choose someone who has done both. So you got to do both. You got to follow the liner one and you got to like the picture. All right. So Rudy says dry heat in New Mexico causing sweat and the liner slips off. Yes, those of you in the hot desert dry heat are not exempt from this. Again, guys, up before your amputation, your skin is exposed to air all day. Even if you're wearing pants, even those of us who wear our pants just a little too tight, right? You still have a little bit of air getting in there. With a liner on, no air. That's the whole point. The liner has to be pretty much suction cupped onto your skin to do its job properly, right? So even if you're in a dry climate, you're going to sweat. Did I start early today, Susan? No, actually, I started right on time, which I guess for me
Susan, that is the best response. That Susan's like, did you start early tonight?
I walked into that one, didn't I? That was low-hanging fruit there, Susan. Low-hanging fruit. Denise says, I'm not an excessive sweater around my limb, a little more than normal, but nothing like pouring sweat out of the liner. And again, the pouring sweat out of the liner, that's definitely the more extreme cases like my runners. But again, Florida, hot humidity, we do have some Floridians that experience that as well. But I think, again, when I start hearing problems from people about rashes, heat rashes, fungal rashes, bacterial rashes. They're losing suction. They're losing the quality of suspension with their liner. They're having to take their leg on and off 40 million times a day because the leg keeps shrinking because of all the sweat. That's when we need to start looking at different solutions, right? So we talked last week on the actual skin hygiene part of it, which y'all know I'm a stickler. I've done, I don't know how many shows on skin hygiene and how to take care of your skin. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my special guest so that they can tell you about how to take care of the liner as well. So go ahead, Liz. I'm going to have you tell us about the actual liner wand.
Okay. So I know Kyle has an example that we can do kind of a demonstration in, but what we have is a whole kit, but I'm going to focus on the wand kind of first. So as you can see, we have kind of a cleanser and a scrub brush for daily use. And then we have kind of the magic wand, which is kind of the patent technology that we have. So I'm going to try to not get too sciencey. So I'll do as basic of an overview as I can, I promise. So pretty much the wand does two things. So the first thing it does is it deep cleans your liner. So a lot of gunk kind of gets, oh no, you're good. Gets like stuck into the pores of the liner. And a lot of times it's very difficult to get it out. So there's polar and non-polar solvents in it. So it's basically kind of think of it like a vacuum. So it's suctioning it out of your liner. So stuff that kind of gets deep in there. So for example, like soap scum. So the fat of the soap, dog hair, anything that might get kind of like within your liner, it deep cleans it out. And then after that, it leaves behind this very thin coating that's ultimately going to protect not only your liner, but your skin as well. So it's a silver titanium coating, and it's a very thin coating, and it goes on top. And basically what that does is it allows for the liner to stay clean and bacteria and fungi to not keep growing inside your liner. So it protects really that liner. And you only have to kind of do this deep cleaning and apply it every 2 weeks. So it will continue to protect your liner for that 2-week period.
Okay. So, and we had a question here. Felicia says the wand is confusing to me. So what I want to do, and I'm switching, we were laughing because I was switching around the screens, but what I want to do is I want to put the screen large so that Kyle can really demonstrate. There we go. I got the right combo. Okay. So Kyle, walk us through when a person gets their kit, they're going to take the little wand out, and what are they going to do?
Absolutely. So when you first receive the kit, you're going to be able to, I think the first step is really taking the daily cleanser. As Liz was saying, I'll start here for a second. This is my favorite thing because it's pH balance. And I know so many of us with our skin, a lot of us have very sensitive skin. And so being able to have a cleanser that's not only safe for all of our liners, it's fragrance free, as well as pH balance. So I use this on a regular basis. So I'm always cleaning my liner throughout the day, whether it's at the end of the night after all of my activities or after a run, after a bike ride. But this has been a game changer because soap is actually what leaves a scum and can leave a residue. And that's, for me, left a lot of skin irritation. So I was getting so confused on that. And so this is my go-to, always keeping it clean. The best part too is this doesn't remove the thin layer that the liner wand leaves. And so when you do have the wand, it's a really simple step. So you have it has 1 and 2. So you'll break the little capsules in here. And so Liz, if you want to talk a little bit about those capsules again.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go back to the cleanser for a second too, like Kaya was mentioning. So a lot of people don't realize that the soap they're using, like you think of in your shower, right? When you're doing your shower and using the soap, it leaves behind that scum. So really that scum, that fat actually feeds bacteria and fungus. So that fat, that soap scum that you leave behind on your liner, that's actually becoming a breeding ground for bacteria and fungus. And so sometimes it's the soap that's causing the skin irritation problems. Like that's rubbing against your skin, and it's the soap that's causing the problems. And so ultimately what the liner one does is, first, if you do have any soap scum on your liner, it's going to remove it. It's going to pull out all that soap scum. It's going to pull out all that gunk, dog hair, whatever else might be in the liner. It's going to pull it out. So it's deep cleaning it. So that's kind of the first step, as it's, and you just paint it on. So and it doesn't have to be like perfect, like paint by numbers in the lines.
So I think what's awesome, Liz, right now, so you can see on here, so unfortunately I dropped my liner on the ground. So it had dirt all over it, and literally it pulled out the dirt.
Wow. I can see the dirt on that wand.
You can see on here, and you can see on the liner that it leaves, like you can just see the difference between a clean section here. I'll just come over here, and you can just see the difference in a clean section versus the piece. So you can see it removed the debris, removed the dirt, and it left this thin, clean layer that is actually the protective layer in between the liner and the skin. And Denise, you had a really good question. Yeah. I appreciate you asking that. No, the cleanser does not impact the liner wand. And so Liz, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go back a little bit. So the liner one was made for implants, actually. So it was made originally kind of for implants. And so really what it's leaving behind is a coating. Okay, so it's a protective coating that's on the liner. And it's more friendly than the liner. So the titanium, our body likes a lot more than, the silicone that's on the liner. So it's leaving behind this, friendlier version, as well as the silver within it is protecting the liner. And what I meant by you don't have to paint exactly. So I'll call it like a kill zone. There's a kill zone kind of around the coating. Around where you're painting the coating, there's a kill zone. And so you don't have to perfectly even paint it on, around the liner. It will protect it. So, you just kind of, coat it all the way around like Kyle showed, and, you're good to go for 2 weeks.
Okay. So that's really good. So we've got stronger than dirt. And guys, you guys have heard me talk a lot about how to care for your skin and for your hygiene. Hang on. Let me keep Sorry, guys. There we go. That's the setting I wanted. Pictures, because I want you guys to see, Kyle, how easy it is that he's doing with it. It kind of reminds me of those glow sticks that kids have that you just break it to make the glow.
Exactly.
Right? Did anybody else get that? Okay.
My kids actually love this. They like want to use it to paint all the time. They're like, "Oh, can I paint with this?" And I'm like, "No, stop using
No, that's not how it works.
No.
That's not how it works. Right. So, guys, what I love about it is it's once every 2 weeks, which with everything you guys got going on in your lives, one less thing that you have to worry about for every 2 weeks. The other thing, what they said about the soap scum, if you've watched any of my shows on skincare, that is something I really, really hit upon a lot, because up until now, I've had to tell my patients, okay, whatever soap that you use to clean your body, use to clean your liner, but you got to rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse some more. And when you think you're done, you got to rinse even more with the hot water to make sure you get all that soap scum out there. So to have something like the liner one like this, that kind of just takes care of that for you. And then their cleanser, kind of nice. Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think one of the things that was a game changer for me is like I could tell the difference the weeks that I used the liner wand. And I'll admit it, there's been a couple of those weeks where I was like, oh man, I ran out of the liner wand. And so I just went back to using soap, and I noticed just the difference in my skin. And just the way that my skin, not only the rashes, the way that my skin responds to the liner, and how much more comfortable the liner is for my skin, solely because of not only that layer that it leaves, but also that I'm taking care of it on a regular basis and keeping it clean. And I think that's the other side of this too, is when I'm keeping my liner clean, it lasts a lot. I think that has been, so many of us know, like I can go on tangents for hours on how expensive these are. And that's so frustrating on how expensive these are. We can go on that later, but I think we have to do everything we can to take care of our liners, because so many of us know that we either get one a year, and if we're really lucky, we may get 2 a year. But ultimately, I found like that's been a huge benefit, is making sure that the liner lasts longer by keeping it clean.
Yeah, and I know a lot of times, I mean, Kyle can maybe speak to this more, but we have, a lot of people that explain the tackiness, like when they apply it on, it like tackier.
Yes.
And so a lot of the athletes will be like, it's not like it gets rid of the sweat, but to your point, when it's all sweaty and sliding it off, it gives that little extra kind of like fresh, like new tacky feel. And so, that's kind of nice too.
Very good. And the healthier you keep your skin, guys, the better you are going to be in the long run with all these breakdowns. Yeah.
And absolutely, Felicia, I absolutely use the cleanser on a daily basis. And so I know to be able to make sure I keep the liner clean, as well as making sure, obviously, my skin is staying healthy. And then I use the wand every 2 weeks.
Okay, there we go. Guys, actually, we have a winner on our first giveaway, Scott Hager. Congratulations. Scott, I know you've been on the show, so you know how this works, hopefully. Go ahead and email me. And guys, let me just go ahead and do a little admin work here now for you. For those of you who are watching the show for the first time, this show is for you. It's for you if you are an amputee, if you are a clinician, if you are a caregiver from the limb loss community. So any questions that you may have, you can email me directly. I answer all of my emails within 2 business days, any questions that you might have. Scott, for you, your homework assignment is you need to email me your address so that we can send you your 3-month supply of the liner wand. So congratulations, and thank you again for participating, guys. But there's one for Instagram, so I'm going to go ahead and post that one right now. Let me make sure I get this right. The liner wand. Haha. Nice and easy, guys. This is their Instagram handle, at the liner wand, all one word. So same thing again, guys. You need to follow them on Instagram and then like the post that is the picture advertising tonight's show. Okay, so you got to do both things if you want to win the second 3-month supply of the liner wand. All right. So go do that now. All right, guys. So Kyle, tell us a little bit more about your skincare regimen that you do on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me personally, I like to, at the end of the day, so right before I go to bed, I end up taking, when I take my liner off before I get in the shower, I'll take the time to clean it with the daily cleanser. And so that's been really easy, because throughout the day, unfortunately, like as we know, like from sweat or anything else that may happen, there's just buildup that happens inside the liner. And so I take the time to clean it every single day at the end of the night. And I end up, for me, it's really simple because I like to dry it off afterwards. But then every other week, I'll take the time to put the liner wand on it. And I strategically plan around. I know there's like an activity I have or something coming up that I would like it just a little bit more a little bit more tact to my skin. So especially if it's before a race or before a hike, or honestly, if I'm going to be spending, it's now summertime and now we're starting to attend weddings. And so the night before, I like to make sure my liner is very clean.
Yep.
And what I've noticed throughout the summer, especially, is the smell just unfortunately gets worse, just because of naturally throughout the day sweating. And so that has been really a huge help because I no longer have any sort of odor because of being sure that I'm able to clean the liner, and take care of my skin. And so, yeah, that's my daily routine. But also, I recognize that there are times throughout the day that I know that I've done activity, so I've been sweating a little bit more. So I'll take the time in the middle of the day to clean my liner, or after some sort of run or other physical activity, to make sure that I am cleaning the liner with the daily cleanser.
Yep. And guys, many of you brought in go ahead.
No. So Van Gregory had a really good point. Yes, there is a big difference that I found. So knowing, like, sometimes I'll just be honest, when I'm very active and I'm like fixing my liner through a run, just naturally build up and gunk on the liner. And this has been a game changer to scrub it off. And so this is where you need to get deeper into the pores. This is easier, but it also doesn't scratch it, doesn't impact the liner. And so this naturally allows you to go a little bit deeper into the liner to remove any sort of debris or buildup that you have. And this is just a really soft, simple side that I use on a more regular basis.
That actually looks like the surgical scrubs that we use to scrub before a surgery. Is that basically what I'm looking at right there?
It took us so long to figure that. We had to do so many because we wanted something that kind of got in and scrubbed. And I was thinking, like,
without damaging the liner.
And if you look at like the scrub brushes in your kitchen, right? Those like remove the liner, like pieces of the liner. So it took us a while to figure out like what can actually scrub it off but not damage the liner.
Yeah. And I love those scrub. Like when we would scrub in for the OR, you could really get in there and get your everything clean and it wasn't irritating your skin. So yeah, perfect match there for something like the liner. All right. So let's see. Jerry says, I washed my liner with fragrance-free soap and I thought I rinsed it off good. I still broke out with a red rash and itchy. Could it be heat rash? No, that's probably rash from the soap scum, aggravated by the heat. And it looks kind of like almost like a blooming rash. And it looks really impressive. Like the first time I saw it on my patient, I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I seeing? The prosthetist is laughing. He's like, yep, he didn't wash his soap out with the liner. And sure enough, I looked in his liner and it was just like a very thin film. And that's something you have to be just so careful about, guys, just so careful. Because even if it's a fragrance free, it's something that works fine on your skin. If you even have the faintest of film in that liner, it's going to show up right away.
So that's how to get the scrub. We have everything separate on our website, so people can get the 3-month kit all together, which we're going to give the Cosi Talk show for a discount. But you can also buy each thing individual on our website as well.
Yeah, and then actually, Melissa, the liner wand, it's thelinerwand.com?
Yes.
Okay, let me just put it up here. Okay, that's their website, guys. I was poking around their website, and I love the fact that they also have the liner clips.
People do like those, yeah.
Because for me, like I actually tell my patients when you clean your liner, don't dry it off with a towel because then all the lint from the towel gets stuck on the liner like that. For me, I'm just like, right? So I'll tell my patients to like get a broomstick and hang their liner on it, and it all looks funky and weird. But like there's liner clips. So these really great little clips that are not expensive at all that you can just pinch and hang your liner and it's dry. So, simple things in life that can make life a little easier. All right, let me just look through these comments. So guys, go to the Instagram. Those of y'all, we're going to announce the winner soon. So get your last entry in there. Follow them on Instagram and then like the post. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And Cosi, Johnny had a really good question for Liz. And I love this story from Liz. And so Liz, Johnny asked, was there a person that motivated you in creating the liner wand product?
Yeah, so it's a long story, but I'll give it. But my dad actually created the technology behind the liner wand. So my passion has been kind of helping individuals. We have all of this amazing technology in the universities and people, inventing all this cool stuff. And a lot of times it's not able to be used and help people. It's not brought to market. It's not in the industry. And so we have all this innovative stuff going on, and yet it's not helping people. And so my passion for a long time has been taking this technology out of the universities and really getting them into products to help influence the lives of people. So this technology my dad actually created, it was created originally for veterans. So we were looking at, like bone anchor implants, and like a lot of them were getting infections for the bone anchor implants. But I continued, to work on other products too, to kind of, make that transfer from, all the work done in the universities to actually, people being able to use the products.
That's awesome. I had no idea your dad was the one who came up with the technology.
Yeah.
With the apocrine?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been working on this for, I think 12 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I have a picture of each one of my kids, like with this, like, yeah.
As they got older.
Pregnant at like each of the events.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So Mark K is like, I've been washing my liner with my body wash forever, every day. Now, a lot of times still fighting very bad ingrown hairs. All this time it could have been the soap. Yes. But also, Mark, ingrown hairs, it's a thing. And it's one of those, we've covered that a couple of times on the show too. Yes, certainly keeping the liner clean and everything else clean. That's a big part of it right there with that soap scum, because if it's irritating the follicle, right, then you're going to start getting more of those ingrown hairs. Second part of it is if you are shaving your leg or your residual limb, that's also going to cause the ingrown hairs. A lot of times I'll recommend for my men that are just have a really hairy limb to either just clip it to keep it a shorter length, but not to shave it off all the way. Okay. The other part of it is a salicylic acid cleaner. So that's something that you can find. I know Neutrogena, a lot of the cleansing products for teenagers will have some of this salicylic acid in it. Okay. So that's something that you can try on a part of your skin to see how your skin tolerates it. But that basically helps slough off those dead skin cells so that they don't build up onto that follicle. Okay. And then as a really extreme approach, you can look at something like a laser hair removal, which I do have some folks that do that because the ingrown hairs are just big old pain and they keep coming back. And sometimes that laser hair removal can be covered by insurance as a medical necessity. But yeah, I would say start using the liner wand first. Let's try the easy route first. Go something as drastic as laser hair removal, right? So try the easy route first and see if that helps and improves with the ingrown hair situation. And yeah, Mark, hey, I told you, man, we cover a lot of cool stuff on the show. You should have been coming a long time ago, but I'm glad you got it in your calendar now, man. Steven says, I was told to clip the hair as close as possible, but don't shave the limb. Of course, because as the hair grows back in, you've got the dead skin cells sitting right on top of that follicle. So the hair's trying to grow through. The dead skin cells are on top, and it just creates a big old nasty ingrown hair. And it really hurts. So, yeah. All right. I'm just scrolling through because we had a lot of comments and questions that came in. I told you the ticker tape is a really fun place. Emily says, I slid out of my shrinker today when transferring into my van. I just had to laugh. Yep. Sometimes you just got to laugh. Here we go. Susan, you are lucky. She says, I've got the elevated vacuum suspension. I sweat a lot, but it's never slipped or anything. And Ontario is super hot and humid, and I'm lucky. Yes. Also with the elevated vacuum, you tend to kind of just have that extra suspension there as well. All right, guys, I think I've covered most of the questions, and I think we're going to announce our Instagram winner. Tom McIntyre, you are the winner for the liner wand. Congratulations. Tom, you know the routine, man. Send me an email.
Does he always win?
He sent me the syrup. He sent me the syrup.
Ow!
I'm going to trade you, Tom. This is just a nice trade-off right there. All right, guys. So, guys, let's talk about the discount, okay? So if you go on the liner website and you look at the price for the 3-month supply, your eyes might get a little big, okay? Guys, they're giving us a huge discount. Like, we're talking like 70%, close to a 70% discount on the liner wand 3-month supply. Okay. So here's what you have to do. And I want you guys to listen closely. When you go to the liner wand, okay, you hit the subscription, meaning you're going to be receiving the liner wand every 3 months. And you want this, guys. This is one of those things where you're going to have that liner for a really long time. Okay. So you hit the subscription option. And then when you go to checkout, it will reflect the discount at the checkout. Okay. So I'm going to repeat that one more time because I had to run through it myself. Okay. When you go to the liner wand, right? And Melissa, can you post the link?
I'm doing it right now.
Thank you. So Melissa's going to be posting the link that has the discount in it. Okay. You go to the link, you hit the subscription, and then when you go to check out, it will reflect the discounted price. Okay. And it will be $99 for a 3-month supply. Guys, that's very, very
And it's
reasonable.
consistent, like every subscription past there.
Okay.
They will always
Yeah,
have-
forever. If they sign
that
up,
will
they'll
last-
be grandfathered in for till they.
Yep. Because as you can see, guys, this material is it's an expensive product, but because it's worth the value that it is, so you want to jump on this particular discount, and it will count for every time you subscribe. That's a really good deal, guys. Really good deal. Okay, so Melissa just posted the link right now. So you have to use this particular link to get the discount. And what I'll do is I'll also post it in the original post for this show as well for you guys.
If they go to the website and they don't have that link, they can just type in Cosi Talks.
Ooh, I like that even better. All one word.
Yep.
Even better, guys. I got my own discount code. Isn't that cool? I feel special. All right. So if for whatever reason things don't work, y'all just got to type in Cosi Talks, one word, just like I wrote it right there, and you'll get the discount. Poof, magic right there. All right. We're going to keep announcing that. But in the meantime, here's the other thing that's really cool about the Liner Wand. They have been working with vocational rehab, which is one of my new favorite resources. So Liz, tell us a little bit about your work with vocational rehab.
Yes, everybody needs to know about this. So we actually heard about them through a prosthetist through Baker in Texas and started working in Texas, but it's definitely, I feel like, an underutilized resource for people. So you can go basically, so they're covering the liner wand, they cover all sorts of other products. So you can go through, each state has a separate website for their vocational rehabilitation program. And, if you're looking for help, paying for your prosthesis or paying for your supplies, as long as you're, looking for work and trying to get work, they will cover that for you. And, I don't know if you have anything to add, Kyle, about it, but it's definitely, I feel like, an underutilized resource that people can use and go to.
Yep.
Absolutely, because I think so many of us recognize it is really hard for us to be able to afford or pay for our prosthetics and all the additional care that comes with being a member of the limb loss community. And so vocational rehab's mission and hope is to ensure that we can get back to school, get back to work, and get back to our daily activities. And they actually support with covering the financial costs if you do qualify. And so definitely would recommend, we'd be happy to refer you or connect you to your vocational rehab. Again, it's in here as well in the chat. If you email us at info@thelinerwand.com, we'd be happy to introduce you or connect you to your local vocational rehab and help you through that process.
And guys, I can't tell you, I know in my early days of being a therapist, I worked closely with the vocational rehab in Miami, and I had more than one patient that they had a job that was very physically active. And because of the nature of their amputation, they were not going to be able to return to that particular job. And I remember just one patient in particular, such a beautiful man. He was an AK, and unfortunately his sound limb was even worse shape. And he had formerly been a sanitation worker. And he said to me, he goes, I just want to go back to contribute to society. I don't want to not work and not have to depend upon the government for a check. I mean, he was really motivated. And vocational rehab was just such an amazing resource, providing training for a new type of job for him that he could do. So I can't say enough nice things. And what Liz said is true. There is a lot of funding that vocational rehab receives. I mean, I've been learning about it more and more and more recently, and I'm shocked at how much resources they have that go unclaimed, right?
And they want to use them. Like they want to help. They want to use them. They want to get people. So they will work with you.
Yeah. And again, it's like any system we have here in the United States. It might have its hiccups. It might have its obstacles to get through. But guys, it's a resource that you should definitely look into. Just being able to receive, a year supply of the liner wand?
Yeah. And at the same time, all the cases they're working with are getting, a free lot, like they're paying for their liner, they're paying for their process. Yeah. And then they're like more than happy to help. Like even if they graduate from the program, they've been sending them off like for graduation with a box of the liner wand. So
it's Ben Gregory. I love what you have to say. He says, I received my kit through Voc Rehab and I use Baker Texas as well. Small world. Vocational rehab and Baker are the real deal. Yeah.
They really are. Yeah. Baker's awesome.
It's I know for me as a therapist, I'm like, I'm going to be reconnecting with vocational rehab.
Definitely should.
It's wonderful. Wonderful. All right, guys. So once again, we'll just show you. Go ahead. Oh, did you want to? So
no, I was just saying this is awesome.
Yeah. No. It's wonderful. So guys, just to recap right now, Liner Wand is holding a special. If you use the Cosi Talks code, which is just Cosi Talks, one word, or you use the link that Melissa has provided, you're basically going to get the 3-month supply for $99. Okay. And because you'll be subscribing, that will be the price that will be held and honored for you for the life of your subscription, which is really good. So guys, and I know they have a lot of other great stuff on their website. They have a trial pack. They have, like I said, those hanger clips for hanging your liner, which I love. They have the little scrub sponges as well. They also have a lot of really cool amputee t-shirts. I did not know that. So yeah, I know my amputees love their t-shirts, man. They got some really cool shirts on that website there. So guys, show them some love. Go look at the Liner Wand website. Follow them on Facebook and on Instagram. But I do want to say a very special thank you, especially to you, Liz. You've been a wonderful support for me, for the show, for being another fellow female business owner in the community. So I know it's we are fighting hard, but thank you so much for the support. And Kyle, thank you again for your second time in the hot seat in Cosi Talks. So guys,
Awesome.
and then also to the behind the scees, Melissa, I'm going to go ahead and she won't let me show her. I pointed in the wrong direction. You got lucky. I love to torture my guests in the studio. But guys, as always, thank you for letting us be a part of your lives this evening. If you do have any questions, you can email me directly. You can email the Liner Wand. They posted their email on here. Y'all know how to get in touch with me. Congratulations to our winners. And guys, I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat.